If you've ever felt paralyzed by the fear of rejection, avoiding risk just so you don't have to hear no, I'm interested into this really, really closely because here's the truth. It's not about the rejection itself. It's about the fear of it. And the more you avoid it, the more you're just letting it control your whole life. What you need to understand is these four things about rejection that will actually completely shift how you see it. And more importantly, how to actually use this in your life starting today. And I know for a fact what you might be saying, like, what the fuck? Who is this guy? Why should I listen to you? That's a fair question, to be honest. The thing is, I used to be that brown, insecure guy who couldn't even say hi to anybody, let alone look at people in their eyes without feeling anxious every single damn time. And fast forward to today, I can pretty much say that I'm kind of confident. I can connect with people without having that mask to wear myself to impress people. I can genuinely talk to them, walk into rooms without feeling that judgment that people are giving to me. And the thing is, I'm not saying this to just boost my ego. I've helped dozens of guys do the same thing. So if I can do it, if they did it, so can you, bro. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, how you can break free from this fear of rejection once and for all and turn it into your greatest teacher. So you can actually start making those bold moves that you wanted to always do it and actually get closer to the life you deserve. So the first truth that I wanted somebody else to tell me was that, as I said before, rejection isn't the problem, but the fear you have. Because you have to realize here is that the rejection is a good thing. Why? Because if you didn't know that you are getting rejected, we don't know if you're improving or not. So when you put yourself out there, the more you get rejected, the more you know what to improve on in any aspect of life. If you got rejected by people, when you got rejected by a group, when you got rejected by the job interview, you know what you did wrong or what you did right. But we are just too afraid of the fear that will happen. What will happen if you do get rejected? What's the next consequence? So that's the reason we never, ever get rejected because that's too fearful. If you get rejected by a job interview, it means you're not gonna have money. What happens if you don't have money? We won't have a place to live, like the things like the bills you have to pay, anything, right? It just goes deep down to not feeling in a place, right? So the thing is, it happened the same thing to me. Like, for example, let me drive you home this. So in the high school, I will never ever raise my hand for anything. So like for example, like if the teacher asked me the question and then only then I'll actually talk. And even then I would stir my ass off. And what happened was that the teacher called on me, right? And I was just too paralyzed to even say something. Like seriously, I didn't know what the hell to do there. Because I was that quiet kid. Like seriously, I didn't want you to talk to people at all. And I said, I don't know. When she asked me the questions, I just said like upfront, I don't know what's happening. And everybody started laughing. And after that, it was just too hard to like to do anything else. Like every time she called upon me, I would just freeze up. And since then, my fear of rejection, like seeing people laugh at me is just like I'm getting rejected by the tribe of the classroom. So at the time, I wasn't aware of why it happened. I knew that they were just people. They were just kids trying to have fun. You know. But here's the thing. What I could have done differently was to tell myself different stories. It doesn't matter what you go through. Because look, if there's two people, right? If there's two people and they go through the same experience, the first person can say a different story than the second person. Let me drive you home. So let's say there's two people, different people, same scenario, right? They go through some, let's say, to a grocery store and they see somebody laughing and having fun, right? But the first person thinks that they're the people, the group of people are laughing at them. Now, let's take the second one. Let's take the second one and do the same thing. If they go to the grocery store and they see people laughing there, his perception, her perception might be that, oh, they are just having fun. I should go there and talk to them. Now, you see the difference? The first person thinks that people are attacking them. But the second person thinks, oh, they are with me. They are with me. So look, the difference, me versus them versus me and them. It's kind of like you have to change the perspective of it. So the fear is the actual problem, but not the rejection. Because what I could have told my past self is that instead of telling yourself that they are laughing at you, they are doing this, I should just change the story of what actually happening. Because rejection if you really think about it, it's neutral. It can go to the positive side or negative side. It depends on what you think it is. And if you think it's negative, it means you think that it costs you to think that's negative. But everything is positive. But why it happens? Why do you think it's negative? It's because when you're a kid, you might have a scenario or event or something that caused us to have this perspective of negativity. And when it does happen right now, it just makes us think that it's negative. That's the thing. Rejection is neutral. It's the meaning we attach to it that gives the power. Most of the time, the fear of rejection isn't about the situation, it's about the story we tell ourselves afterward. The second truth that I wanted somebody else to tell me was that rejection doesn't define you, but avoiding will. Because let me tell you this. Before this, if you go back to my videos, there was a time that I wanted to upload way sooner than that. And the more I waited, the more the fear of rejection just creep up because I didn't want to get rejected by my friends. So I wanted to make videos about people who are struggling with things and some self-improvement and everything, but I was just avoiding it. And the thing is, the more I avoided it, the more it just crippled in. Then I realized it's like, why am I like fearing this? Like, what's stopping me? Once I realized that, it was my friends, my childhood friends were stopping me because I thought that if I do upload this, I'm gonna get rejected by them because they're gonna laugh at me, they're gonna make fun of me, they're gonna talk behind my back. And because of that, I never took the action ever for a whole year. I was doing other things that wouldn't make me seen by other people. But then I realized it's like, okay, so now what? Should I just Will I just stay like this my whole life because of somebody else's opinion? Somebody who wouldn't even go to my funeral. It's always that one person. If you actually realize, you might have that one person, right? That you might have that one person who's, because of his judgment, because of his opinion, you're not doing something because you think you're gonna get rejected, but it's not. Actually think about it. Then you die. Do you actually think that person is gonna be there in your funeral? Think about it. When you're dying, you're gonna think like, oh, I should have done this because he said that or she said that. No, right? So the more you avoid it, the more it just wraps up. The more the time passes, the more it's harder for you to actually get rid of that. So if you're aware, if you know who's stopping you, what person is stopping you from doing it, that's the first step to actually become aware of it. And here's the controversial thing, avoiding rejection might just feel like safe at the moment, but it will just create this pattern of self-doubt, self-negative talk, and just missed opportunities. Over time, it defines you even more than the rejection itself ever could. And the third thing is that if you're not getting rejected, it means you're not trying hard enough. Because the thing is, this is happening to me recently. I'm not getting kind of no views and anything, but I know for a fact that there is a reason why. I'm not getting rejected as enough as I wanted to. Because the more I upload, the more I know that I'm putting the work, but I'm not. But if I'm not seeing the results that I want, it's because I'm not putting myself out there. And if I want to put myself out there, I need to get rejected by more people, meaning I'm not getting no views. It means I need to get better. I need to try hard on myself. It's the same thing in the social situations, The more you talk to people, the more you get rejected, the more you can learn who to connect with and who to not. It's like just like a magnet. You know who to connect with and who to not. One can connect with you strongly, but the other one, you can just repel it in the other direction. Because look, when you put yourself out there, you realize something surprising. The more you avoid rejection, the smaller your life becomes. The moment you start hearing no's, you know for a fact you're actually trying. And that's when you really make real progress. The most successful people have heard dozens of no's and more than anybody else. Why? Because they take more chances. And if you're not getting rejected at all, it's a sign you're not pushing yourself at your limits. And the fourth truth and the last one was that you need to turn rejection into a game or stay stuck forever. This goes perfectly with the previous point we talked about. The thing is, I started seeing rejection as a game instead of seeing it as something to fear about. Because when you switch the thing, when you switch how you see things, negative into the positive, it's easier for you to what to do. So, for example, what I did was that instead of going for yeses, because yeses are getting harder, it's really hard to get yes nowadays, right? let's say there's a job interview, just an easy example, right? If you want to have a job, secure a job, you just need one yes, right? That's the easy part. But people just go one time. They think if they go one time, it's just yes or no. But what if we just switch it into no games? How many no's do we need to get a yes? And typically it's like 10 to 20, right? So if you do at least 20 times, at least 10 to 20 times, it's unreasonable to get a yes. Unreasonable. So if you go 20 times, if you apply 20 times, if you go 20 interviews for a job, there's no way you're not gonna get a yes. Because not only you get no's, but you get feedback from those no's. So after going through 10 to 20 no's, you have all those feedback because the 20th interview is going to be easy as fuck because you know what to expect, what to avoid, what obstacle to not step on. So that's how it works in life. In approaching girls, you know how to use your body language, your tonality to talk to them, to connect with them. Here's the thing, and nobody wants to talk about. It's repetition. You have to do more, practice more. That's why people do a lot of practice, repetition. And lastly, consistency. You need to be consistent with this. You can't give up because you just got 5 no's. Remember, make it into a game. Make it into how many no's do I need for the first yes. Like seriously, think about it. Go into Google, look it up. How many percentage of yes do I need for no's? Or something like that, right? And by knowing that, go for no's instead of getting that yes. Because if you just get more no, you know for a fact you're gonna get a yes for sure. Because the thing is, gamifying the rejection part just made it really, really fun for me instead of making it terrifying. Because I could take back the feedback and improve more. It actually became about the process and not about the outcome. And the thing is, fear of rejection is like a cage, but the only lock on that cage is in your mind. And every no chips away all the walls. And soon, you'll break free. And if you're serious of overcoming this fear of rejection, I would love to invite you to join my community. It's completely for free. It takes around 2 minutes to just sign up. So just click the link in the description and I'll see you inside.